More on the deal to set a price cap on Russian oil. The G7 is said to be close to agreeing on a $60 per barrel price cap. A G7 official says an agreement could be finalized in the coming days. The limits on Russian seaborne oil is set to include a provision to keep the cap at 5% below the market price, with the price cap meant to kick in on Monday. EU nations have been scrambling to secure energy supplies. Giles Gibson traveled to northwestern Estonia to one of the first new terminals for shipments of liquid natural gas completed since the war began.
On a barge floating off the coast of Estonia, this crew is laying a high-voltage electric cable along the seabed. It powers a terminal that will receive deliveries of liquid natural gas, or LNG. That's natural gas that's been cooled to about minus 160 degrees Celsius. It will then be converted into a gas and piped out to the Baltic states and Finland.
If the sea is too rough, the wind conditions are too strong, we simply cannot execute from the safety point of view the works.
Mindaugas Zakaras is in charge of building key infrastructure like the electric cable in very challenging conditions.
We are in an open Baltic Sea, and the weather conditions in this time of the year is mostly bad weather. So we are most of the time preparing when the bad weather is there and when we have a time frame of the good weather. So we execute the works from the good weather window to the next good weather window, basically.
The project was started several years ago when natural gas was easy to come by. But then the invasion of Ukraine in February changed everything.
This terminal is just part of a wider push that's being seen across the European Union right now. The bloc wants to stop buying fossil fuels from a country that's about 250 kilometers in that direction, Russia.
In response to Western sanctions on its energy sector, Russia has started shipping more of its oil and coal to Asia, specifically to countries like India and China. But when it comes to natural gas, it's not that simple.
То есть направить тот газ, который шел по газопроводам в Европу, на СПГ-заводы и уйти полностью в Азию не получится. То есть даже мощности заводов по сжижению газа не хватит, и в этом плане нужно строить новые заводы, чтобы переориентировать на азиатские рынки наши трубопроводные поставки, которые раньше шли в Европу.
So far, Brussels has banned Russian coal outright, and a ban on bringing in Russian oil by sea kicks in December. But there's no direct sanctions on gas. And while imports of natural gas via pipeline into the EU have fallen dramatically, the bloc's imports of Russian LNG have gone up by almost 50% year on year in 2022. The new terminal off Estonia is highly unlikely to receive shipments from Russia, given the government is introducing a complete ban on importing Russian gas at the end of this year. But as the EU tries to keep the lights on this winter, a lot of member states simply can't make that promise right now. Giles, Gibson, CNA in northwestern Estonia.